Okay? No Epstein talk. Okay, I promise. Maybe. Okay, not really. But the fuck you mean 15-mile-an-hour speed limit because it's a school zone? That's fucking stupid. Duval. So, is it gonna be the downfall? I've been watching, changing subjects. I've been watching a lot of like I don't know the feminist, like the feminists are dumb videos. It's the alpha videos. I think that was the name of the channel. It was Alpha Central or something like that. And it's really interesting. It's really interesting how my hair smells nice. Go ahead. You came to the light last, but go ahead, you dumb broad. I just think the whole thing is like silly. Like, we need each other. And Matt, you finally got the notification right when it happens. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It's weird because it's like, I mean, I feel bad for females, right? Because, like, other than having babies, what they don't really do anything that I can't do. But the other way, like, I do all kinds of shit women can't do, and I'm one-handed. But like my wife won't tell you she doesn't need a man. Of course she does. And it's weird because it's like, it's a partnership. So that duality means you do this shit, I'll do that shit. Reality is, like, all of the stuff my wife does is, it's all stuff I could do. No problem. There's nothing my wife does that I couldn't do. And that's a weird thing, but it's like, why do we pretend it's any different than that? That way we end up causing a whole bunch of drama and, bullshit competition. Competition is the worst thing for a relationship. If you guys are in competition with each other instead of helping each other, it's as bad, like, you're just going to kill the relationship. And I don't think men should, like, control anything. I think it should be an equal control thing. There's so much more to it, so much more played off of it than should be. I mean, I don't know. The whole narrative is really skewed. I mean, it's because of the way that women have gotten obnoxious over this kind of shit, it's created pushback from men. Like, of course it's going to. But, like, I don't know, it's just weird. There's plenty of videos out there showing women thinking I don't need a man videos where they fail. There's not the other way around. I don't need a woman. Like, I don't even know what jobs we're talking about. Whether it's like cooking or cleaning, anybody can cook or clean anything. You just have to have some know-how and some, willingness to do it. And as far as like things like parallel parking goes, I mean that's just a stupid thing. You're just stupid, man or woman. There's plenty of men that can't parallel park, and that's literally just stupidity. Wow, I just hit a bag. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I don't know, man. It's weird because I see how it's like it's used against us. It creates the division. It creates the negative attitudes and the negative perspectives that are so prevalent today. Like it you know, I don't know who Rob is. Right now. Look how long this shit is. It's way longer than you think. I wish I would have done it when I was younger, so it would have been like a full head of hair, and we could have seen what it looked like instead of this thin ass old man shit. I don't know, man. I just think that whole thing is just a weapon. You know, I think a lot of it's weapons, and I think if you at our existence as being weaponized against us, you can see how it has been and how it works. The worst thing is if you're out here fighting the good fight, right? You're out talking about Epstein and all these other things, and I mean, just look at the shit that I get for saying the truth, for talking about these piece of shit Jays and shit like Epstein, the truth about Epstein and all that shit. Look at the shit I get for it. To be able to be out fighting the fight, and then to come home and have to fight with your woman, like that's gonna destroy any good man, any good fighter. And you know, if you're a female doing it too, and you have to come home and fight with your man, that's gonna fuck up your ability to do your job correctly. And you know, it doesn't matter what your job is, really. If you go out every day and you bust your ass, and then you have to come home to, you know, some bullshit talking about, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm I guess choosing my words here, but I just think it's strange, man. I think it's a weapon. It's just been weaponized. It's a way for them to keep us from being our best. We're fighting against our spouses. We're fighting against reality in so many cases. You know, the chicks that I don't need no man, they're generally the chicks that no man wants. I mean, I see that all the time. My sister-in-law is useless. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Like, she's useless. She's super gay, like super fanny pack, lesbian gay, you know, the kind that only they like. You always see them together where it's like two chicks that look identical. Got their fanny pack on, their Birkenstocks and shit. Their shorts and their giant asses. But like she'll be the first one to like, women can do anything, men can do, women can. No, you can't. You definitely can't. She was real good at bowling growing up, which is a telltale sign. But like when I first met my wife, she was still 15 or something like that, and she would play basketball. We would play basketball together outside the parent house, and it was like a joke. I like had to I have to pull back a ton to be able to play with this equal girl. It just. It's not, it's just stupid. It's just, why do you don't want everything that men have. You don't want that. And then there's that whole don't hold the door bullshit. Like, I hold the door for men or women. If I'm going into the door and you're coming behind me or whatever, I'm going to hold the door for you. I'm not, it's not about, thinking you're weak or something. It's about just, being a nice person, doing the mannerly thing to do. And I think they've done a great job of getting us to hate each other. And it's just another part of it. Whether it's the color of your skin or your sexual preference or your sexual identity or, any of that shit. They have us hating each other so we don't focus on them. I'm all about, like, if you think you can do it, go ahead. Like, there's an argument about, men versus women in a fighting. So I just want to go back to the days where you tell the government to fuck off for a 2% tax on tea. Right. Do you actually believe that existed? Do you actually believe in the Boston Tea Party and shit? I don't. I don't believe any of the history we're given. I just think it's all fucking bullshit. And I think the history tells you that. If you just look a little deeper, and all those times where in your head you go, well, that doesn't make any sense, or how did that happen, or whatever, instead of just going, oh, well, history says so I'm going to believe it, you take that thought further and you try to figure it out. Does what they say make sense? And I just don't think it does. Snowflakes. That's so silly. Whoever the fuck came up with that rip, that burn, I'm gonna call you a snowflake. Like, that's so stupid. Because what? You melt? You're individual? You're small? Like, I don't get the whole snowflake thing. But it's like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just weird how that whole dynamic works out. What people consider snowflakes and all that shit. It's strange. And it's all used against us. There is no, this is what a man is. Just like there is no, this is what a woman is. There's variations to everything. And are delicate and fragile. Yeah, but everybody is. The people that generally call people snow, it's like when you see somebody with a sign that says protect our religious freedoms, they're undoubtedly a Christian. And they're a Christian who's mad because the freedom to not be a Christian and not have Christianity shoved in your face is not something that they're cool with. It's never like protect the religious freedoms of people who don't believe in religion. That's not a freedom that's supposed to be protected. But your want to discriminate or push your bullshit or whatever it is, that's what you want. That's what I mean, it's like, I see it all the time with the conspiracy truther side of things, where it's like these people who are like, America gives us the freedom to do this and freedom to do that. I should be free to not have to deal with your gay stuff. Well, then, doesn't that take away from the freedom of America? Isn't part of the freedom that we enjoy the freedom to be gay, the freedom to be trans, the freedom to be whatever you want? I don't understand why. Well, I do, actually, but why other people's life choices affect you. Why you would give a shit. But the truth is, if we were just accepting of people. Okay, so you see that thing right there? That metal that goes underneath that flat part right there? Just like that bar right there. This thing, to outfit trucks with this would cost like $100 per truck, and it would save lives. Undercarriage fatalities, undercarriage wrecks are way more common than people realize, and they're deadly because the sensors in your car are made to go off at the front of the car when the front of the car is hit. So if the front of the car goes underneath something, and it's just, there's no safety precaution, there's nothing to protect you. It's really fucking crazy. Let's see. Where's your guy? You got some David Lee Roth going on there. Here come the trolls. People want the freedom to make everyone agree with them and not really be free. I mean, to some, it's weird because it just depends. But at the end of the day, like, everybody that's the angriest, everybody that has the, that has the most shit to talk, it's if you're mad about all these, it's like, do you know that, like all the people that talk shit about gay and trans, right? And the reasons that you do it, the claimed reason is, oh, well, the children, I'm just defending the children. I don't want that stuff around the children, blah, blah, blah. You play that card, but at the same time, you're a Christian. And it's like, well, what about the church, man? What about the church constantly raping children and getting caught doing it? Don't you have an opinion on that? Really, if we weren't distracted by so many goofy things, we would be focused on Israel. If you weren't distracted, you don't like gay, exist. Like, that's just fucking crazy to me. And I'm not, I don't shy away from it. Like, I think gay stuff is gross for me. For me to be involved in some gay stuff is really fucking gross. And I am very much against it. Does that mean you shouldn't be allowed to do that stuff? No. Like, I think fucking feet is really gross. Anybody that's into fucking feet, you're fucking gross, right? But if you want to do it, that's on you. If you want to do it and you got some chick that likes her feet fucked, I don't understand it. But go right ahead. Who am I to say you can't fuck feet? But it doesn't, It's the thing that's always sort of been like, when you compare evils, when you try to say like this thing is bad or that thing is bad, what's worse than raping children? Seriously. Like, I don't even think I think raping children is worse than killing them. Because killing them, yeah, that sucks. I mean, it's a horrible, horrible thing and all. But that's it. They don't have to live with those demons for the rest of their life and then transfer that dysfunction onto somebody else, into their kids, into their relationships, all that shit. Raping children is just the worst element of our society. And you don't hear people, those same people that have the biggest issue with gay or with whatever, they're not out there condemning the rape of children. Not like they should be. Having a child that listens to you is worse. Having a child listens to you is worse. Like I just happened to pick a random one. So that's my opposition. People that say having a child listens to you is worse. Like that's what I'm up against. And this person is saying that, like, trivializing child rape. Like, do you not get how, like, who the fuck do you think is behind these profiles? Is it really that much of a stretch to assume that it's pedophiles? At the point where you hear me say raping children is the worst thing ever, don't you go, yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't like you for this reason or that reason, but you're right about that. Isn't that how, like, normal people would respond? No, listening to you talk about. Now keep digging that hole there, buddy. Morning, Zhao. Zhao 1. Yep. Listening to me is so much worse than raping children. What a motherfucker. What a piece of shit. Like, nobody should trust their children with Clearwater Chad. Because he's a fucking disgusting pedo, man. I don't know what else to say. If you're not in here completely condemning pedophilia, I don't know that. Like I say, I think Alex Rosen, Gordon Flowers, I think he's a racist. I think he's a piece of shit. I think he's just he's a J. I mean, what can you say? He's a proud J. And they're all awful. But Alex Rosen is a pedophile hunter, is one of the most prominent pedophile hunters in the business. And what he does is just phenomenal. He's a good guy at the end of the day. And because of that, because of what he does, he gets the pass from me. I don't care what you are and what you do. You could be a Christian. You could be a. Thanks, sir.
Good morning. I'd like to get $1.40.
See, holding the door for somebody just because it's a dude.
Okay.
You're in a hell of your own making. Yeah, sure am. I'm the one who makes Israel drop bombs on children. Yep, that's me.
All right. Thank
I'm
you,
the
sir.
one
Have a good day.
that. What's up, man? Pump one, please. Yep. Have a good day. I'm the one that allows the church to rape children and all that good shit, right? I'm in a hell of my own making. Again, you see these people that come in here and they have some shit to talk. When, like, what are you even talking shit about? Are you angry at me for exposing you pieces of shit? Are you a big Israel fan? Is that what it is? You Israeli fans, you I mean, I don't even know who you guys are anymore. And it's funny too, because you don't really have anyone with the balls enough to say so. You know, there's people that will come in and talk shit, but they don't ever say, you know, hell yeah, I support Israel. You know, hell yeah, I support that, you know. They don't say that shit. And then if they do say something along the lines, and you, okay, so elaborate on it. Why do you support Israel? They got nothing. They can't say shit. They don't, you know, what are they going to say? What could they possibly say? Here we go. The same old talking points. Can you imagine saying the whole messing around thing, acting like you're clever and you made something up? Yep. That's what it must be. Messing around. Again, it's the same dumb talking points. Are we to believe that all of these random people are apparently not opposed to pedophilia, not opposed to genocide, and say the exact same dumb shit to compensate for the fact that they can't say anything that matters? Do we really believe that? He is a confirmed combatant. So stupid. Israel is sacred land, according to who? Let's see what the dumb fucking profile that says the same dumb talking point. Let's see if they can elaborate on what they're saying. Israel is the sacred land. Okay, according to the Jews that wrote the Bible? You do the same thing, do I? What same thing do I do? These dumb fucking idiot, man. Go on, elaborate. Explain what you're saying. Explain what you think here. Because I don't think you have the ability to. I think you're really just stupid, and you are trying to compensate for your stupidity with your dumbassery. Yeah, I already know. Although it's raining, so or at least it's a boot too. So I don't know how this is gonna work out, but we'll see. Let's see. Repeat the same talking point and insult when you can't give an argument. Really? What argument do I get I don't respond to? And the same talking points. I mean, yeah, to some degree, I'm talking about the situation we're against here. The same enemy it always is. But I definitely read a lot more. And as far as, like, it's if you're here and you're opposing what I do, and I'm the guy that thinks we should kill pedos and eliminate the Israeli situation, then I mean, if you disagree with me, if you think I should stop doing what I do, and you don't give me a reason for it, well, I'm left to assume it's because you're a pedo and an Israeli, and or a J. If you can't explain what you're doing, why you're here, what your motivations are, you leave me to assume. If you ask me those same things, well, I have no problem answering. I'm not opposing pedo points. Yeah, well, what are you opposing then, Dumsky? Because you would have to think, for somebody to be as obsessed with me as obsessed with anyone as you are with me, there would have to be a really good reason for it. And yet you can never seem to address what that is. Trump will save us. How does anybody still follow, and how does anybody still support this piece of shit? Right? How does that even happen? At this point, you still support Trump? Are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? What? What are you talking about that guy for? Biological terrorism is one of the most serious crimes there is. The Epstein Files was the final straw for me. Well, the Epstein Files are just sort of a fantasy. I mean, it's not about the files. It's the tapes. The tapes are the thing that we need released. And as long as we're crying about some files, you know, we're distracted. Oh, come on. You know, I don't even know what these files are supposed to be. I do know that the Department of Justice, you know, absolutely acknowledges the fact that they found tapes. They found in each one of his residences, they all have the top Israeli tech, and they each had a control room, a hidden control room that was wired to the entire house, both audio and visual. And inside the room there was a safe, and inside the safe there were DVDs, VHS tapes, flash drives, anything that held media. And on those things were written the name of the famous person, the name of the victim, and the age. So you know, while we're all distracted by these supposed tapes, we're not, or the supposed list that doesn't even exist anymore, and now it's a Democratic hoax. The Democrats just made it up. Like that, you see why Trump said, you know, at the Republican National Convention that he's going to tell the story about what happened, the shooting, and he's only going to tell it one time. It's because he's really stupid. And when he's shooting from the hip, or when he you know, when he's not reading the script, he ends up saying really stupid things. Sorry, my sister tried to argue with me because her cold mold and shit smell that I sprayed cologne in my room and die of allergies, and she has the nerve to threaten to hit me. I'm not sure what you're talking about. She got chewed out and gave up as always. She leaves the door open and lets the nasty smell spread. Yeah, not sure. You know, we should be demanding the release of those tapes, of those DVDs, of the video evidence. I mean, the Kash Patel thing is just, it's like, is the system joking with us? Like, are we really supposed to think, like, you know, Kash Patel was this number one sort of pusher of release the Epstein list and list and list, him and the other guy. You know, he was talking about the list needs to be released, and then he goes on Rogan, and he's talking about, oh yeah, well, he gets appointed the position, and then he goes on Rogan talking about, by Israeli text you mean weather modification systems? No. I mean, the best spy tech in the world. Like, do you guys remember back in 2016, 2017? Trump was in office, but 3 listening devices were found around the White House, triangulated around the White House, so that within this triangle, the White House sat. And these listening devices allowed for the communications going in and out of the White House to be intercepted, all of them. Some special, super secret listening devices that were almost immediately assigned to, these are Israeli. This is Israeli tech. And then it just went away. It just went away. Right on, Chad. Appreciate you manning up and acknowledging. I don't understand why anybody trolls anybody. That's just a weird... Like, whatever you got going on in your life that you need to find other people and try to fuck with them, like, that's just weird, I guess. But I appreciate you acknowledging the screw up. Sure. I represent E-Course. I'm yelling Ink Town. Woo woo. I'm coming out of Southwest. Wicked clown. How do you let people know that you're a juggalo without saying I'm a juggalo? Just yell woo woo. So, who's going? My entire channel. Your entire channel is a troll. Yep. Yep, I'm the bad guy here. Absolutely. Hi. Got a one. Yeah, you ready to come out? You're gonna go to Gabby's room for a minute. What? What? What is it, Cuckoo? What is it? Oh, hi. Oh, yes. Hello. No, now he's never said you were a bad guy. I just come here to talk shit and try to get you to stop talking about the things you're talking about and focus on my dumbassery. Right? Gotta love these meth blunts. These cracking meth blunts we smoke. Oh, this one's falling apart. There we go. Crazy. Ain't no one care what you gotta say. Oh, Jesus. Ain't no one care? Really? Ain't no one care? Are you sure ain't no one care? Come on. Ain't no one care is pretty harsh. Ain't no one? Are you ain't no one? I'm here to amuse myself again. Like, I appreciate you guys acknowledging this shit, right? So, your idea of amusement, you have every single YouTube channel you could possibly go to. You have Hulu and all the other different platforms you could use. You know, you could watch things on. You have, you know, your TV with the channels. You have cable with as many channels as you can get. You have, shit. You have video games you could be playing. You have DVDs you could be watching. You have the Fire Sticks that you could be, you know, watching anything you want to watch in the world. And what you want to do is go on the page of the guy who says we should kill pedos and stop the slavery that Israel has us all under. And you're like, no, it's amusing to say stupid shit. I'm gonna talk shit to the guy that's talking shit about pedophiles. Yeah. That totally makes sense to me. That totally makes sense. That's something I would do. I mean, this is the stupidity I'm supposed to deal with here, right? And people wonder why I ignore comments. It's just stupid. Right? It's just the stupidity that's just so commonplace everywhere that we need to really override. Never said we shouldn't protect pedos. I'm a juggalo. What a dumb thing to say. Oh my God. You know, it's funny, the whole juggalo thing, right? Like, it's what they did to us, right? The idea of psychopathic killer clowns who like to fuck dead bodies and shit and then make songs about it. How does that appeal? You know, my white friend introduced me to ICP in like 10th grade, maybe 11th grade. I became a fan when Riddlebox came out. And the reason that I liked what they did was because the first two songs I heard were Chicken Hunting and Little Something Something. And like, those songs aren't about fucking dead bodies and psycho killer clowns and all. And as a 50 or as a 16, 17-year-old, the idea of the face paint was cool, you know. That Halloween, we put ICP face paint on, and when I get that. But it was like, it just got, you know, once they became so more mainstream, you have to want, like, the whole nigga persona, right? Whether it's black or white, it's been pushed on us. And they've used the media to do so. Right? To make ignorant fucking, you know, ignorant slaves that are desensitized to the worst things imaginable. They did it to black people with rap music. They did it to white people with well, it sort of first started with grunge, where music went from rock and roll, let's party, let's have a good time, trash a hotel room, bang some chicks, do some drugs, whatever, to I'm gonna shoot heroin and want to kill myself. And that became the thing. Well, at the same time, they were introducing country music, which country music is white people's rap. It really is. It's just such stupid music, basically talking about the same shit. Like, how many songs are about driving around drunk? You know, country music was this thing that was given to us by non-cowboys. But they used our, you know, like when you listen to rap music, and the rap music that's allowed to make it. Prior to 8888, which is when NWA dropped their album, Niggas with Attitude. So stupid. NWA is a boy band. One of the most influential boy bands of the time, right? And prior to that, rap music was all about, like, know your history, you know, be proud of yourself, be proud of your blackness, unify, dance, have a good time together, you know, that kind of shit. It was one switch that got flipped. One switch. What's up, Dookie?
Grab a cheese, I'll make you some fruit.
Morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Sleep well?
Yes.
Kitty's looking for you.
Turtle, oh, you gotta tell your viewers there's a cat named Turtle.
Nah. I've been on a submersible vehicle. Submarines are definitely real. uh, Look, they've used it to control us. They've used it to influence us. They've used it to desensitize us. And when you look at like what's been done to black people, is just, it's abhorrent, man. It's abhorrent. It's awful. The what it means to be black. Like if you just go back in the history of entertainment, shows like Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son is not funny. And really, like you know, it's interesting how Super Chosen Norman Lear was touted as this super genius when he didn't do anything. He literally stole all of his ideas from UK TV shows and then adapted them to fit American audiences. But shows like All in the Family is awful. And one of the most brilliant things that they did was try to make it like All in the Family. They say, oh, well, he just made fun of everybody. And one of the things that they always do, like Don Rickles, Ari Shaffir, these generation after generation, is they make fun of everybody, and they say they make fun of the Jews, but they only make fun of the Jews by saying things like they're so rich, they're so smart, you know, they have so much power. Like these are the jokes that are made. These are the slurs that are made towards them. And that's how they've gotten away with it, right? That's how they've been able to say, oh, well, we're just equal. We do it equally. But when you look at the slurs that are given to each group, you know, one group is said to have all the money, the power, and the control. Oh, don't say that. You can't say that. When that's not a slur by any means. You telling me it's a slur to say that you have a lot of money and power? Who doesn't want that slur? But that's how they've done it, right? What's your problem, guy? They're only programmed 8 billion people. They only programmed 8 billion people, right? That's it. I'm just crazy about that. And of course, we have the same old profiles here talking their shit. Mad because I think we should kill pedos and eliminate the J control scheme. Like I don't have a problem explaining my motivations and you know, like I'm proud to be, I'm anti-Semitism. I'm proud of my anti-Semitism because I know what that word means. And for those that don't, let's look it up, shall we? Semitism definition. Put Semitism definition into the Google machine. We pull up the Merriam-Webster definition of things, because we all know that Webster's dictionary is the dictionary, right? Nobody's going to argue that narrative, right? You all think that way. Webster's is the one. Semitism. Okay. Number 1A, Semitic character or qualities. Number 1B, a characteristic feature of a Semitic language occurring in another language. Number 2, policy or predisposition favorable to Jays. You see that? It's backwards, but I think you can see what it says. To J's. Policy and predisposition. Policy meaning the rules, regulations, laws, all that shit. And predisposition is how you go into something, how you go into it thinking. So the rules, regulations, laws, and the perspective going into it is favorable to this one group. Why would anyone support that? So you hate a group of people because they're an awful cult. They're a disgusting, pedophilic, supremacist cult who their belief structure is just fucked up. And most people don't quite know what they believe because they hide it from you. Like, understand, every year, the biggest J holiday is, you know, the one that we're all most aware of is Hanukkah. Adam Sandler made the Hanukkah song. You know, Hanukkah is this, you know, we're taught to believe that Hanukkah is like their Christmas because it's at the same time, and you know, and they get little presents every night and all this other shit. But the illusion of Christmas, we all know what the illusion of Christmas is, right? Some dude bringing presents to children to make kids happy, and you know, at its heart, it's goofy as shit, but it's good. It's a good thing. You know? The idea of you know, giving gifts and like, I love Christmas time. I love the weeks before Christmas when everybody is just nicer to each other and they're full of that Christmas spirit, right? Do you guys know what Hanukkah is about? Hey, at least he said I couldn't care less this time. Usually they said I could care less. I'm gonna give you credit for that one. I couldn't care less. I just don't understand the hatred towards a group of people whose lives have zero effect on my life. See, that's where you're stupid. That's where your stupidity comes in, right? Because if you think that same thing with believing in Satan. And Satan, ooh, it's Satan. What's worse than having an imaginary friend? Having an imaginary enemy. That's even crazier. But if you think that the Jays don't control your life, don't have any bearing on your life, you're just foolish. Who's the one group of people you're not allowed to talk about? Why do you think that is? You know, right now we're going to war. We're initiating war. We're bombing another place because of them, because of what they want. And because of their supremacy. It's all about their supremacy. That's what they're doing. Iran didn't attack anybody. Iran literally did nothing. Iran didn't even help the Palestinians who were being genocided for 2 years prior to. And the same narrative, they're weeks away from a nuclear bomb. They're weeks away from a nuclear. That's what Netanyahu has used for literally decades, 3 decades. He's been using that same rhetoric to get what he wants. And then there's the whole Hollywood side of things, which they absolutely 100% control Hollywood. And if you don't believe me, go watch Hollywoodism. The link that I provide you in every one of my videos. Go watch Hollywoodism. It's literally them telling you that they not only created Hollywood, they don't really say how, but that they created Hollywood, they control it with an iron fist, and they're not letting go. You know, they made the movie bragging about it. And when it comes to pedophilia, Hollywood is at the top of that. Hollywood, church, and government are the three things that are at the top of pedophilia. And they control all those things. Why do all your clergy in your Catholic church, why do all the clergy wear yarmulkes? You ever wonder that? If Iran had a nuke, they would launch it right away at us. Oh, would they? Says who? If Iran had a nuke, they would launch it at us right away. They're not doing anything. They haven't attacked anyone, and the only thing they did was a small counterstrike on Israel, supposedly. But, they have all sorts of weapons. Why aren't they using all of their weapons? Just only if they had a nuke, right? Like, it's this dumb racism. You've been trained to be a bigot towards Middle Easterners your whole life. If you're my age or older, back when Russia was the bad guy, the cartoons were telling us that the bad guys were these Middle Easterners. We didn't even understand it. We just saw it. Let's see. Iran did. Oh, did they? What did they do? Come on, dumbass. Say it more. Elaborate. How did Iran attack people? When did Iran pose any sort of threat to anyone? I mean, this is just the stupidity that they want us to focus on. And again, instead of me continuing to talk about Hanukkah, which they don't want you guys understanding, do you guys understand that Hanukkah is all about circumcision? And circumcision for them involves metitza b'peh, which is oral suction. Like, it's really fucking crazy. When you hear about the story of Hanukkah and the Maccabees and the Maccabee revolt and all this other made up bullshit, it's mainly about circumcision. They were actually allowed to exist. They weren't being persecuted. The only thing was the people back in the day, again, this is only if you believe the narrative. I don't. I'm just saying what the narrative is. But they were allowed to practice their goofy bullshit. It was just like, hey, you got to stop doing that to the children. That's disgusting. That's wrong. And it was the circumcision that inspired the Maccabee revolt to begin with. And because of that, Johann Maccabea, whatever, supposedly he went around the country killing Jews. Killing other Jews who refused to circumcise. I mean, the story is just bullshit. It's literally, I don't believe it even a little bit. But it's what the narrative is. And if you don't know the narrative, you really shouldn't even be commenting on it, because you're out of your depth. No, that's Passover. Passover is about child sacrifice. They say it, it's we read all about it the other day, but Passover is about child. That's why Passover, every single year that Passover takes place, they spill so much blood, Palestinian blood. There's always some big attack, some big something that takes place and takes the death count from a really horrible death count to an unbelievably horrible death count for a week. But look at it. Look at how, look at these comments. they're just dumb. They're just dumb. You don't have a bunch of people saying, yeah, you're right, man, that shit's horrible. We shouldn't be doing that shit. We should be fighting against this. It's a bunch of fake profiles that are desperately trying to get the subject to change. Desperately trying to shoot the messenger. At this point, with everything I do, with the amount of people who know about what I do and who've seen what I do and who come here every day and all that other shit, you would think there would be some rabbis, some religious scholars, somebody who supposedly knows their shit that would have come in here by now and tried to, teach me about what I'm wrong about. These cult members need to just off themselves. They do, but they won't. They won't. We have to fix this. And I'm not somebody that believes in we should just kill them for believing in that stupid cult. Although they are, guilty by association when it comes to the pedophilia and all the rest of the shit. So there's that, but I'm running for president in 2028. Those who are here frequently already know this, but I'm running for president in 2028, and I'm running on the platform that we give them what they want, right? We say to the Palestinians, we're really sorry, but we're going to go ahead and just bring you to the United States and set you up with your own community or whatever. We're going to set you up so you're not poor and starving and all that. And we're going to give the land, we're going to give Israel to the Israelis, to the Jays. And if you want to be a part of that cult, we will pay for your plane trip to get your ass there. But that's it. There's no more association with them. There's no more big brother bully tactics on our end. If you mess with them, you mess with us kind of thing. No. We completely cut them off. The only money that they would get from the day I became president was the plane tickets to get them there. And granted, you don't have to go. You don't have to. You could say, no, I renounce this cult. I'm not a part of this cult. I believe in equality for everyone. I don't believe anyone is born superior. I'm not down for the pedophilia and all that stuff. I'm actually going to stay here. I'm no longer one of them. And you're cool. Like, to me, you're a great person. You get bonus points. You get gold stars. But everyone else that wants to remain in the cult, go right ahead. Go live in your disgusting pedophile supremacist cult in your in your chosen promised land. And let's see how well Yahweh protects you. Let's see how well that works out for you. Your motherfucker Yahweh. You want to talk about a piece of shit, right? Like the God that they believe in, it makes sense why they're so horrible. We read about Exodus yesterday. And it's like shocking how childish and vengeful and supremacist their Yahweh God is. It's amazing. How did this man land in my shorts? And why am I still watching him? Still watching. I don't know why. But like I say, you would think there would be some sort of expert, some sort of scholar, some sort of whatever that could come in here and cure my misconceptions. Tell me what I'm getting wrong. I must be misunderstanding something. Because from my perspective, your people are the worst people in the world, by far. By far. You know, cannibalistic shit, like just it's across the board. They check every box. But again, the promise to the Palestinians is, look, you can come here, you'll be safe, you'll be put up, everything will be nice, and then you can go back. As soon as the land opens back up, we'll pay for you to go back. And I really don't think they would have to wait that long. I think as soon as you take away the American protection scheme, the American version of the Iron Dome, Israel's in real trouble. Right? Can you give a summary about what you've talked about on your channel? No. I can tell you this. This channel is about killing pedophiles. We need to change the laws and make it so it's legal. That if you fuck with anybody, a child-wise, we don't give you a second chance. We don't give you a slap on the wrist. You get killed. And really, that goes for rapists in general. Like, it's one thing, it's not black and white. It's so funny how stupid our system is. That when it comes to certain elements of law that apply to the Goyim, it's black and white. And never mind the circumstances or anything involved. With them, of course, there's all sorts of ways out and loopholes and shit. But for us, the laws are black and white, and if you don't follow them, you're in trouble. But if you're somebody that rapes somebody that's going, no, stop it, no, or somebody that's passed out, fuck you. You didn't do that once. I've told this story before, but there was this girl, her name was Lindsay when I was growing up. And Lindsay was like super hot. It's crazy that Lindsay didn't become a supermodel because she was like tall and she was like standard beautiful. She's just blonde, blue eyes. For a tall chick, she had big tits. Like she was just banging. And her boyfriend, like, and really, I honestly think like she was gay. She just wasn't like there. She came from a really conservative white family, and she might have even been Jewish, but I don't think so. But more than likely Christian Catholic family, and so I knew her because one of my best friends, Sarah, growing up, had an apartment, and she had an apartment with a friend of hers, named Aaron. And we knew Aaron was gay back in high school. Like, he used to get teased off because he was effeminate as fuck. He had that voice, and like that's just what it was. But he played the game like he wasn't gay for a long time. I think he's out now. I'm sure he's out now. He's a gay man now. But they had an apartment, and then Lindsay was Aaron's girlfriend. And, you never really saw Aaron and Lindsay doing anything. And it was always just like, it was always just a weird thing to see. But, looking back, they were probably each other's beards, which is why it worked out. But one night when I was in my early 20s, 22, 23, something like that, I had come home from California. And when I used to come home from California, it was like a week of debauchery. I would just go around, I would see everybody, and, all these people whose lives were the same thing. It wasn't like they were on a vacation too, but I was, it was a really weird thing to experience. But I'm not even really sure how, but Lindsay and I ended up at the same place. And maybe it was a bar or something, but her and I always flirted, and there was always some sort of spark between us. But again, she had a boyfriend, this, that, and the other, blah, blah. Didn't do anything. So we went back to her parents' house. She was living at her parents' house, and it was this, her parents' house was this huge, fucking, like this Leave It to Beaver style, 5-bedroom, not a mansion, but just one of those rich neighborhood houses. And we were up in her room. We were fooling around. Like we had started making out and shit. And I went to the bathroom to like pregame myself, okay. I know she's hot. Don't bust a nut. Don't have that quick shot. Don't have that quick shot. Which again, on a side note, like if you're a female and a dude busts really quick, that's a compliment. And dudes, you should be more than okay with being like, hey, I might bust quick. Give me 5 minutes and I can go again. And the second time, it would be cool. But like, it shouldn't be this taboo thing. Like, oh, you busted quick. That's not something we can even control. That shit happens. And the last thing you want to think of is, oh no, I hope I'm not about to bust. Because as soon as you think that way, it's coming. You're fucked. But I'm in the bathroom, and I must have been in there for like 5 minutes. Like, just trying to psych myself into this, like, holy shit, you're going to fuck Lindsay. Holy fuck. Like, I can't believe this is actually going to happen kind of thing. And I went back into the room, and she was passed out. She had passed out. She was drunk. We were both pretty drunk, but she passed out. And I was so like, God damn it, I didn't even get to see her tits. Like it was about to get to that point. and I had to go to the bathroom. But I just wanted to see what she looked like naked so badly. And what can you do? She passed out. Like, to me, it was like, just like, it was this such a kick in the nuts because I wanted it so bad, but she was passed out. How does anything, like even the idea of touching her or peeking at her, anything like that while she's passed out, that's fucking gross. That's a couple of steps away from fucking a dead body. And so I ended up, leaving, sneaking out, driving somewhere else. I don't remember where I went to. But it was like, maybe I should have stayed. I think I had to leave. I don't remember what it was. Like, I don't remember. Her super white conservative parents wouldn't have wanted to see me come out of the bedroom that morning. But there wasn't even a question to me. Like, I was immediately disappointed because I knew that was that. Like, I tried to wake her up. She was out. And she was a heavy sleeper. I remember that from the roommate situation. So you knew she was already a heavy sleeper, plus she was drunk. Like, I was just so disappointed. And to this day, I wonder what Lindsay looked like naked. Oh. But that's like, I just couldn't imagine crossing that line. That to me is rape. If you can fuck somebody or anything along those lines while they're passed out, sleeping, you kind of wake your girl up or whatever by fooling with her choo-choo. Well, that's one thing. But or vice versa, you wake your man up to a blowjob. I'm sure there's not a man on earth that's going to be like, oh my God, how dare you? But when somebody's passed out from alcohol, that's a whole different level. And if you can do that, like if you can do that and that woman feels violated and she's pissed, like of course you should pay that punishment. And it's hard to say that we should kill those rapists too, but they're rapists. You know, it's not the same as somebody screaming, no, stop it, help me, and you're still doing it. That's obviously that's different, but it's still the same. You don't know if that person was really wanted to or not. She was too drunk to consent either way, bro. If she passed out before you did anything, she was assigned to just stop. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, there is no going past that point. If I'm like, hey, you wake back up? Hey. And you don't wake back up? Well, that's that. No nut is worth crime. And how busting a nut became like this prize. Like, it's weird. Again, it's something that's been weaponized, used against us. But no nut is worth committing crime over. Very few things are worth committing crime for. You know, stealing to feed your children, yeah, okay. But assaulting someone because they say a word, somebody calls you a nigger and you get, oh, how dare you? How dare you say I'm an ignorant asshole who, you know. I'm going to act like an ignorant asshole because of it. Let's look up what the word means. I've never actually done this before. Nigger definition. Let's go to Wikipedia, my favorite source. Okay, so this source is locked. So there is no anybody can just edit Wikipedia. Doesn't work on this one. Hang on a second. Some schmutz is on my camera. There we go. All right, so let's see what it says. In the English language, nigger is a racial slur directed at black people. Now it is. But let's see where it goes. Starting in the 90s, references to N-bomb. I don't want to get in trouble because I said it too much. He's saying it. He's reading stuff, but he's saying it. Because again, you're dumb enough to be upset about a word. There is literally no word out there that you could say to me that I'm going to be upset about. You could call me anything, especially if you're a stranger. Like, if you're somebody you're a profile on a fucking YouTube feed, knowing that there's Team Jorge, and then the hundreds, thousands of other iterations of it, knowing that there's act.il and the thousands of other iterations, like, why anybody would get mad at what somebody is saying, like, even like just the conversation itself. If you don't think the same way I think, so, like, you're gonna get mad at the way I think? Why? Do I affect you? Do I control anything? Why am I that important to you that I can upset you? And this is in life in general. Why do you make people that you don't know so important that they can upset you? They can ruin your day. If someone cuts you off driving to work, and you come home that night and you're like, fuck man, I've had such a bad day. Some guy cut me off and it started the whole thing. If you're mad because some dude cut you off on the way to work 12 hours later, you're the asshole. There's a lot of people that driving is really scary and like causes a lot of animosity or anxiety, and not animosity, but a lot of anxiety, and it's actually very difficult for them. And for some of us, driving so easy, you like, how does anybody think this is difficult? But there are a lot of people out there that driving is a difficult thing. They actually say that driving is one of the most taxing things that we do as humans, because you're using both arms, both legs, both feet, especially if you're driving stick. You gotta, all of your senses have to be firing at the same time. The reality of what you're doing should freak you out. That you're driving in this missile amongst all these other fucking idiots out there, and somebody could fucking T-bone you. You could be doing everything right, and you go through a light, and somebody T-bones you. It's a really taxing, scary thing. So when somebody cuts you off, you don't know if it's because they're freaking out, they're just trying to get to their destination and they made a mistake. Sure, there are going to be the assholes that flip you off. I think black women are the new Asians when it comes to the worst drivers in the world. And it's only because black women aren't apologetic about it. Asians will fuck up and they'll be like, oh, sorry. Black women will do, cut you off, almost cause an accident, break whatever merging laws, and then have the audacity to yell at you for it. Like, it's really kind of strange, but if you get upset about that, like, you're the fucking loser, right? They also speed the most, brake checking, etc. I'm totally guilty of brake checking. I'm not going to like slam on the brakes and try to get you to hit me. But if you're behind me riding my ass, I'm going to tap my brake and make, show you the brake lights. Freak you out a little bit. But, or I might drive slower. But I'm generally laughing the whole time. That's usually what makes people madder than anything, is when they roll up next to me and they're all, fuck you. And I'm just laughing at them like, okay, like, whatever, dude. Like, I couldn't care less. Seriously. You're a random person out in the middle of the world. Who knows what the fuck is going on in your life? Your wife just could have cheated on you. You could be going through absolute pandemonium. You could be just a psychotic break is taking place and you're freaking out, just looking for somebody to fucking pull out the gun you keep because you're an insecure fucking white guy and you keep guns with you everywhere you go. Or you're some insecure black guy who's a gangster. There's nothing that anybody can say or do that's going to get me upset. You talk shit about my wife, my kids, I don't give a fuck. You don't have that kind of power over me. You're a nothing. Especially when you're just a fucking a profile on a YouTube page that, the reality is it doesn't even make sense that you're here. If you supposedly hate me so much, then why do you watch me every day for hours? You must have some shit going on that you're just not comfortable dealing with. I don't know. But to think that like somebody's going to say something I'm going to be, oh my God, I'm so angry now. Fuck no, why do I care? Anything you say just makes you look like the bigger piece of shit. Especially when you can't address what I'm actually saying, so you're desperately trying to hurt me back. Like when you know the psychology of things and how people work. The people that have the most and that are living their the best life possible, they don't give a fuck about what you have to say, you dumbass. They just laugh at you. You're gonna talk shit to me? I could literally give you a car and not even think about it. Anyway. Or again, if I'm gonna get upset about somebody that is a self-identified troll, what you do is you go around looking for people that are doing what you can't do, which is, going live and commanding an audience or whatever. And you're going to be like, I don't care what you're talking about. I'm just going to talk shit because I'm a troll. Like, if that's your life for real, you go ahead. You do whatever you need to do to keep yourself from fucking doing something stupid to somebody else. If that's literally how miserable your life is, I just can't understand that at all. I know doing what I do is taxing. And I'm on the right side of things, right? I'm fighting against the worst of the worst. To then have you spend hours a day, every single day, and then when I'm not live, you're thinking about me. Like, I can imagine that's difficult. That's that takes something out of you. To put so much of yourself into someone else, that takes a lot out of you. And I'm on the right side, so you're doing the wrong thing. That, like, for these people to be that delusional that they think like that shit works on me, like, I mean, you see, I just explained to you how my thought process is. And you're gonna still keep going? For who? For you? Like, I don't get what your motivation even is. You go to the guy who thinks we should kill pedos and stop the J control scheme slavery, and you have an issue with that guy. That makes sense. Like, you must be a really good person, huh? Yep, smoking a hookah now. All right. Since the 90s, references to N-bomb have been increasingly replaced by the euphemistic contraction, the N-word. Notably in cases where N-bomb is mentioned but not directly used. In an instance of linguistic reappropriation, the term N-bomb is also casually and fraternally is used casually and fraternally among African Americans. God, I can't stand that. African American. What a dumb fucking thing to call yourself. You're nowhere near from Africa. You've never been to Africa. You're never going to go to Africa. You know, it's a way of segregating yourself while saying you want equality. And then it's funny because, like, there's Haitians, there's people that aren't from Africa that are black. There are South Americans all over the place that would look black. Then you have, because of that, you have like Italian Americans. I hate when you say, I'm Italian American. And then I've also seen Jews call themselves Jewish American. What the hell does that even mean? You ever heard somebody talking about refer to themselves as a Christian American? Let's see. Most commonly in the form of nigga, whose spelling reflects the phonology of African American English. The origin of the word lies with the Latin adjective Niger, N-I-G-E-R, Niger, I don't know, meaning black. It was initially seen as a relatively neutral term, essentially synonymous with the English word Negro. Isn't it amazing how it just happens to work out that way? That the words are all so similar, almost like they all came from a time when we all spoke one language. Do you guys know that Hebrew is the youngest language on the planet? Is this off Wikipedia? Well, here, let's take a quick jaunt into something real quick, because I know stupid people like to say stupid things. So Naftali Bennett is a former Israeli prime minister. Back in 2010, when this was made, was a future prime minister of Israel. But at the time this is made, he is an Israeli operative, he's an Israeli agent, he's an Israeli official. He's full on Israel. And this is the Israeli news, IsraeliNationalNews.com.
Moetzet in conjunction with My Israel, has arranged instruction day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to teach people how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the #1 source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaz Flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
I came here to learn.
All right, so as far as proof goes, I really don't know what else I can provide you that is more proof that Israel controls Wikipedia than a prime minister, a future prime minister at the time it was taped, acknowledging that they know that Wikipedia is the #1 source of information in the world. And they arranged instruction days so they could teach the editors of Wikipedia how to edit things so it would have a Zionist perspective. Like, I don't even know what else you require. You know, nobody says that Wikipedia is absolutely 100% true, but it's unquestionable whether Wikipedia gives us the perspective that this one group wants us to have. Might not be true, but it's what they want us to know is true. So as far as all the clowns that cry and, oh, well, anybody can edit Wikipedia, well, you can't. If you can edit the page, you might make an edit. It'll change for a little bit, but as soon as so your edit flags the system, the editors that were taught by Israel how to edit things, then read your edit, and if it fits with the narrative that they want, it'll stay. If your edit goes against the narrative, it gets removed extremely quickly. But that's only if you can edit Wikipedia, which this page cannot be edited. What's up, man? This page is one of these pages that so if we can't edit it, then where did the original edit come from? Thanks, man. I used to be a garbage man. Craziest job. No, not the craziest, but it was a good time, actually. I was young, so we used to get fucking super sauced hammered the night before and still be able to get up and go be a garbage man the next day. Like, that's insane. What? Shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. So again, I don't know, like, your argument is just moot at this point. You're making no real point when you're trying to say that Wikipedia isn't the source. It's not a good enough source. Well, what other source could you use? What other source do you suggest? Anyway, the origin of the word lies, blah, blah, blah. Early attested uses during the Atlantic slave trade, 16th to 19th century, often conveyed a merely patronizing attitude. The word took on a derogatory connotation from the mid 18th century onward and degenerated into an overt slur, which is in quotes, but I don't know who the quote is by the middle of the 19th century. Some authors still use the term in a neutral sense up until the latter part of the 20th century, at which point the use of the word of the N-bomb became increasingly controversial regardless of its context or intent. The thing is, like, again, I wouldn't even be worried about it. I would be saying it right now if it weren't for people that are looking to shut me down. So even though rap songs can say it all the time and this, that, and the other, like, to think that you can't say it, if you think that because you're white you can't say a word, you're putting racist bullshit on yourself. You know, by the Jews saying that they're the only ones that can't be talked about, can't be joked about, can't be questioned, that's actually a form of racism. You know, that's making a prejudice. Why can't we treat you like we treat everyone else? What makes you different? That's again, this is how you realize just how stupid the opposition truly is. That this is the way that they've constructed things, not realizing just how stupid it makes them look. It's you know, if you open up the books on Israel, you demonize Israel. It's that kind of stupid. You know, that was the response to the UN when they were talking about in 2022 opening the books on Israel and seeing what the hell is going on, because this seems more like a colonization and an apartheid, a genocide, than it does a temporary occupation like it's supposed to be. And they said they wanted to open the books on Israel, and Israel's response was, if you open up the books on Israel, you demonize Israel. Which again, if you open up the books on Guy Williams, you're not going to demonize Guy Williams, because I don't have anything. I have stupid things that I've done in my past. I have embarrassing things that I've done in my past, but nothing to the point where I would be like, oh, I don't want anybody knowing that. There's nothing in my life can I think of that I wouldn't want you guys knowing, because I would be embarrassed. Because the word N-bomb has historically wreaked symbolic violence, often accompanied by physical violence, it began to disappear from general popular culture from the second half of the 20th century onward, with the exception of cases derived from intra-group usage, such as the hip-hop culture. Oh, really? The Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary describes the term as perhaps the most offensive and inflammatory racial slur in English. Because that's what they want it to be. Like, that's what I keep trying to show you guys. They want you to feel that way. They want you to get upset and commit crime because somebody says the most offensive word. I mean, you've seen it so many times. You've seen it where they somebody commits a violent act against somebody else, and they go, well, he called me a nigger. Like it's supposed to be some sort of excuse. You guys remember the boat brawl bullshit? Funny how that story disappeared, right? You guys remember that? I thought it was the most just disgusting story I've seen in a really long time. But there was a part that was left out. You know, there was a part that was left out, and that was, it wasn't white people on the boat, it was Jews. They were the people that were on the boat. They were the people so entitled that they thought they could just park their boat wherever and fuck this cruise line that parks here and shit. And they'd been doing shit like that for years to this same boat. They were the ones that got out and attacked that older black man doing his job. And if the whole thing stopped at black people came to his defense, and as soon as they did, the white people backed off and cowered, and the black people showed this unity, you know, or even, you know, one guy beat up the guy that was hitting that old black man. That's one thing. I'd prefer the first one, but you know, I can understand the second one. But what that devolved into, the whole idea of the folding chair becoming a symbol of pride, when that dude hit a woman who was on the ground. She was a defenseless woman, got hit with that fucking folding chair. For that to become a symbol of anything, like it's disgusting. And why do you think that all went that way? You know, why do you think it all worked out that way? Why do you think we cared so much about it? There are all sorts of stories like that out there, but we don't care about it until the TV tells us to care. But if you look into that story and what ended up happening with it, it just disappeared. Why? Because the last names of the white people involved started to shine a light on the situation, and a different light on the situation. Started to show the truth. Literally, it was like it was on every show. The fucking New Day came out that night holding a folding chair. It's like a sign of, you know. It was everywhere, and then boom, it just disappeared. It just stopped. Nobody talked about it. Nobody asked about it. Even the follow-up stuff that happened wasn't really talked about very, very frequently. And it's because of what it represented, because of the truth coming out. I know I had something to do with that shit. That was back when I was still allowed to have some viewers. Speaking of which, let's reset real quick, because I don't like having 13 viewers. I hate when they do this to my feed, so I'm going to reset. You pedophiles, you go ahead and you kill yourself.